Hello, it's day 64 of Sydney's COVID lockdown and it's locktail number 10, the Martinez. Now I've got a lot to get through because for this last cocktail of the 1800s, before I move into the 1900s, I'm going to try and whip through a taste test. Back when this turned up in 1884 in the Modern Bartender's Guide, there were basically two versions. It was based off two versions of the Manhattan, and you swapped out whiskey for gin and you ended up with potentially two versions of the Martinez. So version number one, French red vermouth on my jigger, 45 mils. And a couple of dashes of gum syrup, so you can use a couple of dashes of just sugar syrup, or mix some sugar with some warm water and let it cool and use that, and 3 or 4 dashes of Angostura bitters. And I'll get to the gin in a moment, but in the other one, the Manhattan cocktail number 2 becoming the Martinez cocktail number 2, we've got 2 dashes of orange curacao, so just a little bit of orange curacao. There we have 45 mils of Italian vermouth instead of the French. Here I've got this contemporary Italian vermouth, bottle and logo designed by somebody in Sydney, so a little bit of a connection to our Sydney locktails, and both of them have 45 mils of gin. Now I'm using another Australian gin here, Never Never, which was the winner of the World Best Classic Gin. I think it was in 2019. It's a very forward gin. It's got a little bit of heat in it. It's critics have said it's very good for cocktail mixes. If you've just got the Botanist or something else, and I shouldn't say just the Botanist is a great gin, but if you've got that because that's what I told you to get, then use that. And what I want to do, obviously, with this cocktail is I'm putting the French and the Italian versions head to head. So pretty much the same gin, just trying out these two different recipes around a bit. Doing 2 of these at once is just confusing me a little bit. So let's go here with the French. And here with the Italian. So remembering the Italian has that little bit of orange curacao, whereas the French has a little bit of sugar syrup. Already see there's a bit of a difference in colour there. Now let's have a little bit of a taste. Italian. That's a good drink. French. I'm doing the two-handed Donald Trump hold. I'm going to go the Italian. The Italian for me is the clear winner out of those 2 mixes. So that's going to be my Martinez when I post it. But I'm going to do something else. Now that I've got this on YouTube and can go a little bit longer, I'm going to take this cocktail, the Italian one, I'm going to split that in 2, and then in later recipes, a couple of different things were added. Some of the recipe called for a little bit of maraschino to be added, just a couple of dashes, so we're going to do that for that one. And also in a couple of others, because the early Martinez was based on the Dutch style precursor to gin, sometimes it was mixed with a little bit of whiskey to give it that sort of wood and smoke notes and take it back to that sort of older style gin. So I'm going to give it a splash of that. I'm going to give it a very quick and gentle stir, and I'm going to take the maraschino and the whiskey and do them head to head. So with maraschino, if you really like maraschino, you might find that an improvement. For me, it's not working for me. I'm going to go back to the original 1884 Italian version of the Martinez. Now, if you like whiskey and you like gin, you're going to like this one. Probably right in the sweet spot for me. I'm still going to stick with the original 1884 swap out from the Manhattan cocktail number 2 to the Martinez. I guess we could call it a Martinez number 2. that's going to be the one that I post. But if you want to put a little bit of maraschino in it, or a little bit of whiskey in it to bring it back to that sort of earlier Dutch gin style, or find some Dutch gin and give that a go. This is certainly a cocktail that you can play around with the gin and the ingredients, and probably the bitters. Some of the recipes as well have Boker's bitters instead of the Angostura, or they have Angostura orange bitters or other orange bitters. I think without the Curaçao, the orange bitters would be the go. So I'll put that recipe up online. Stay safe. We're back over 1,000 cases today, so who knows how long this lockdown will last. But I hope you're having a good weekend. Next cocktail up will be into the 1900s. I think we're doing a Bijou. Cheers.